doing really well this afternoon. A little bit later than I planned to do a show, but I had to do some stuff today. So sadly, sometimes life takes over. 27th Wednesday, the 27th of August, and 4 days left of the window. Not long to go at all. So we can go through some stuff. Obviously, I'm JB, and welcome to the channel. I am not a dictator of the chat. Scott, morning, mate. I think you find it's the afternoon, buddy. It's the afternoon here, anyway. So I hope you're doing really well. If any, Chickawool, hi, my friend. A little bit later than I planned. I always try to do a morning show, but as I say, life takes over. Red Devils United says hi. Hello, my friend. Hope you're doing really, really well. Shit, yes, it's the afternoon. Oh, I know. It's been one of those days for me, my friend. So, as I say, if it's your first time here, I'm not a dictator of the chat. You know, I'm very logical. The only thing I ask, as always, is respect for chat, respect for me. If not, then the moderators and myself will have to end the conversation as it was, but I hate doing it. I don't like to do it. But welcome to like other fans here. So what are we talking about today? So a couple of bits and bobs today. I think where we should probably start for me is Amorim's press conference, which is not on the thumbnail, but I just wanted to slightly go over it. It was quite short today, and a couple of bits and bobs for me that he said, whereby not concerning, but I sort of, I can't really read him, and I don't know sometimes if it's what he's trying to say between the lines. I just wish he would come out and just basically say what he means, but I get it completely. I have a question for you, JB. Go on, my friend. Fire away. I will wait for your question. Before I continue. Now, what I will say, just on the channel, we are pretty much approaching 10,000 subscribers. We've got a little way to go just yet, but honestly, absolutely unbelievable chat in here. So, as I say, welcome to this chat. Give us a quick like, favorite, subscribe, and all that stuff. Be absolutely phenomenal. So, I'll continue until Agent Scott comes in with his question. So, Amorim press conference. Oh, would you take a loss tonight if it meant we won our next 5 Premier League games? Ooh. So, my answer to that would be that is a good question. Let me logically think about this, right? So, if we lost tonight, right, the problem for me with that would be we'd get absolutely hammered. We'd get absolutely destroyed. We would get annihilated. We would get battered. And the problem for me with that is that, and I know I'm going around the houses slightly, but I just wanted to get sort of a sort of opinion in on that one. I'm just going to whack this in here. So for me, in essence, would I take a loss if we meant the next 5 games? Now, you could say yes. Now, on the premise, that would be good, and it flies up the league, and the confidence would be good. But then, what happens in the next 5 games? What happens in the next 10 games? So for me, I think I would say if we lost the game tonight, and it meant we won the next 5 games, but we had a consistent season, then yes. But it's going to take more than 5 games. And I get what you're saying. I think it's a really interesting question to ask. But for me, it's a case of I'd only want to lose tonight if it meant we won the next 5 games. And not even finish 3rd or 4th, but just be consistent and become a better team. That's Abel says hi. That is that. So in essence, of course. But I think tonight we can't lose tonight. They're a League 2 side. Blundell Park. I don't think we're going to have it our own way tonight either. So I think that what you're saying, yes, but I would retort back to you and just say, yes, I would, but we'd have to be consistent. If it means we win the next 5 games, but then we're consistent and we finish 6th or 7th, yes. But if we lose tonight, it's going to be horrific. So yeah. So in essence, yes, but it would have to be consistent. We'd have to win the next 5 games and then be consistent. But if we lose tonight, it's going to be annihilation. Fenny says, why are my fellow United fans all this please, all keeping on saying that Rúben is benching Benjamin? He'll have to do that because he did not have any per season with it. Yeah, I think Benjamin Sesko needs to play tonight. Benjamin Sesko, Bello. Barcelona fans are welcome here as well. I'm guessing you're a Barcelona fan. I can only say that, but you're welcome. Respect to other clubs as well. Big respect to Grimsby tonight as well. So I'm going to start with Amorim and the conference. So basically, it was a really, really short one today. And the questions that he was obviously asked us the sort of most ambiguous questions. I don't have them in front of me just because I'm on the phone today. So basically, one of the things that Amorim said to me, which puzzled me, and this was more of a case of trying to justify Europe, and I almost felt like he was justifying what happened last season. So what he said is that we're not ready for European competition, and I don't know, for me, if that's a justification of not getting in to Europe and him basically trying to new bid on the men's from Galatasaray from Turkey. Andreas Franson, no disrespects to Galatasaray, no disrespects to the Turkey League and to the Turkish League, and I'm not disrespecting that league in any way, shape or form. But if we go against Galatasaray, then we're winning that battle. I think that what we're trying to do right now is what we always do. We try to quibble. G-Wolf, welcome, my friend, becoming a legend of the chat. I hope you're doing really, really well. So the men's for me, we'll come on to the news. The men's for me, he's going to come. I don't think we can afford not to do this deal. We're quibbling over a couple of million quid. He's going to come. So if we don't, then we've dropped the ball on that one. So I truly think that we will get this goalkeeper in. Harry Skipworth for me. If Rúben doesn't start Mainoo and Sesko, he's backing himself into a corner. Harry, I think that's a very, very good comment. I think it's a very, very good comment. I think, yeah, agreed. Mainoo needs to start. Bruno needs to sit versus Grimsby. James Vargas, welcome to the chat, buddy. Legend. I agree. He needs to start Mainoo tonight. Hence, that's why Mainoo's on the thumbnail. I think Mainoo needs to start tonight, and we can come into that because there is some news on him as well, and we can all get our opinions in on that as well. Anana, stay. Ken, I think he will. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Zona Bates says Brazil team football. Yeah, Brazil. I don't know where Brazil are these days. I think they've kind of been in the background a little bit. But again, massive, massive respect. The men's coming to Manchester on the deadline date. I agree with you on that one. Hi from Portugal. Hello, Nara. Hope you're doing extremely well today. How is it work? Love the stream. Keep it up. Good work. What's your opinion on Mark Goldbridge? Thank you, buddy. I don't think it's fair. I don't know him, but I will give my opinion on him. I think that there needs to be massive, massive respect for what he does. Do I always agree with his opinion? No. I think it's very, very difficult when you've got such a large platform and you are trying to placate everybody. I mean, they've got 2 million over there. I mean, it is phenomenal. I totally respect what it is that they're trying to do. I think when they were when they were a bit smaller, I think that it was easier for Mark and the team over there to be a little bit more with the people, right? But I think over the last couple of years, I think it's really difficult to do what he does. I admire what he's done. You know, he is, whether people sort of agree with it or not, you know, he's seems to me like, I think he's changed. I think success does change people, but I still admire what it is he's trying to do. You know, I like the fact that he started to do. You know, he was the one that and that channel started to do all this. Do I agree with how he interacts with fans? No, not all the time. And I do think sometimes his opinions are very, very strong, and maybe he doesn't give people time to speak. But when you get to that size, you almost don't have time to please everybody. And I think he's had to deal with so much abuse over the years that I think he's formed his opinion, and I do agree with him on some points. I think me and him do share a lot of the same points, but I think people have to respect at times that it's a very, very difficult thing, and when you build an empire, right, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And I mean, he's been doing it for 10 years. I mean, I'm guessing the amount of rubbish that he's had to put up with is a lot, but I just think you just have to admire and respect what he's done. Whether you agree with what they do now, whether their opinion, but don't forget, channels lose their way. No, people, when you get too big, you almost lose the essence of what you try to do, right? So I think that Mark is his own person. You know, I think that he is. I think he knows what he's doing. He should do, but I don't know the guy. But I just respect the channel. I respect what he's trying to do, and I can't give a personal opinion because I don't know him. But I almost think that right now he's become bigger than the channel. He's in his own right he's become his own thing, right? So yeah, I mean, you guys can have your opinion. I need to be respectful because I do respect now, because you know I'm not trying to do the same thing, but I get it. I do get it. Zonup says, why does United so much invest continue to play so poorly in the sense of not being able to define or win a goal? Zonup 8, you say that we've invested so much money. We have, but what you got to realise is because we wasted so much money, we wasted billions and billions of pounds, and we sacked so many managers. We don't sell our players; they're going to free. We need to invest this money, right? It's imagine you've let your house just, you've not fixed your windows, you've not fixed your door, the roof is falling off, right? Next door has got a pristine house, right? They spend 200,000 like on their house, and they've got like more things than you have, but you need to spend twice as much as them to get your house to the same standard, and then you then got to spend the same amount of money again to get the house the same as theirs. We've just messed up. Our owners have just been atrocious. So I get what you're saying, but you've got to understand, and I don't know whether you are a fan of the club, but it's not as simple as that. You know, we have to catch up, which seems ridiculous, but that is how far we've fallen, and that is why people on this club are so against the Glazers and what they've done to this club. And it's not as simple as that. Do you not pull Bruno last game? How long until Cunha uppercuts Bruno mid-game? John Bomb 15. I like that. I don't know, mate. Before he uppercuts him. Yeah, mate. It's yeah. I think there will be a divide with him in the team, and maybe that's why he's got the but uppercut him. I mean, that would be really funny. I was one of his stream yesterday, and someone sent £100 super chat and gave them shit because they had a different opinion than him. And Scott, I mean, you know, going back to that channel. I mean, I don't watch it like all of the time, so I don't know how he's changed. I mean, that is, if somebody sent me £100 chat, I mean, I'm not saying that you've got to necessarily agree, but I really believe on here what we do well is we discuss opinion, and irrespective of how big we get on here, I doubt we'll get to that size. But the reason why I spend so long and these streams are like an hour and a half to 2 hours long is because I feel like we need to talk about your opinions. It has to be open. It can't just be me coming on here telling you what I think without giving you guys' opinion, because you need a place to come to sometimes vent. And that's what we do here. I think that's what we do here better than some of the bigger channels, is that we debate, we're logical. Sometimes we're passionate and we let that get the better of us. But ultimately, this is what we do here. This is real opinion, and this is from real fans. Zonopet says, look, I'll tell you what I think. Bruno Fernandes isn't all that. Onana is an excellent keeper. Mainoo will be the best midfielder in 10 years, lacking planning, repetition, or trauma. I semi-agree with the Bruno Fernandes. It's not, I don't think he's all that. I just think that Bruno's had his time. He doesn't fit into what we want to do, and I think Bruno needs to leave. I think he needs to protect his legacy, which he should be respected, but he's older. He's got older. That's what happens in life, my friend. That is what happens. So I think he just needs to go. I think for him and for the club, I think he needs to go. Onana is an excellent keeper. I disagree with that. But if you think he is, then that's up to you. But I disagree. I think he's terrible. He gets the basics wrong. He's not the worst keeper in the entire world, but he's not the keeper that we thought that we were going to buy. So I wish him luck if he wants to go elsewhere. If you listen to him speak, he's a really good guy. I like him a lot, but I think it's his time to go. And I agree with you about Mainoo. I think he will, and I do agree with the lack of planning as well. I think give him 1-2 years, and I agree with you. I think he'll be a fantastic player. Hi, tuning in from Australia, Kiwi. G'day. Sorry, that was awful. Yes. Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, this community now is really getting big. People from all over the world, which blows my mind. So thank you so much for being here. My starting 11 v Grimsby. Onana, agree. Heaven, Maguire, Shaw. I think you rest Luke Shaw, but you might be right. Ahmad, Mainoo, Ugarte, Dorgu, Mount, Shesko, Cunha. I think you play Shesko. I think Mason Mount and Luke Shaw may not play because I think they need a rest. I think that's a good team. I think that Mainoo and Ugarte will play. I think it's spot on. I think Ahmad play. Ahmad will probably play, but then we've got Burnley. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Ahmad will play. Mainoo, Ugarte will play. Dorgu, will he play? Dorgu will probably play. I think. Oh, sorry. You put Shesko in there. Mason Mount. Will he play, or will he get rested? I don't know about that. But I think you're very close, Jamie. I think he will rest some players. I'm interested to see whether he rests people like Dorgu and Mount, but we don't have the depth, right? So, maybe Xerxes plays. I don't know how fit he is. Maybe Xerxes comes in, so maybe it's a Cunha, Xerxes, Shesko. Interesting tonight, but I like that team. I think Grimsby are League 2, so we should be. Yeah. Hussein says, we admire and respect Bruno, but the system is used. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we have to admire and respect Bruno. I like that a lot, but his time has come. I think you're right on that one. I think his time has come. Like he says, Kobbie Mainoo will be playing tonight. Not worried. Maguire, yeah. Shesko, Xerxes, Dorgu, Mason Mount, possibly. I just think he might rest Mount. Mason Mount was injured for 2 years. I think he needs to rest him. I really do. Unless he's trying to play him into form, I think he might rest him tonight. System we are using does not fit his style. Exactly, I agree with you. G-Wolf Gaming says, sorry, Zarnaps, respect the opinion, but Bruno being our best player for the past 5 years, and Nana being crap since he came in, and totally agree with Mainoo being our best players to come. Manager has already, and we said we want other players. Black Dragon Ninja, that's a great name. Arsenal versus Liverpool, what is your prediction? Oh, do you know what? That's a very, very good question, because both teams didn't play particularly well. If he's at home, do Liverpool need to prove themselves? Have they got a couple of injuries? I think that's a draw, you know. And I'm not because I'm sitting on the fence. I think Arsenal might play themselves into a bit of form. Liverpool seem to do quite well. I think that's a very close game. I'm going to go 2-2 draw on that one. I think Gyökeres scores. I think Ekitike still scores. I think that's a 2-2 draw written all over that one. Kobbie Mainoo will be starting or coming from the bench. I think he starts lucky. Arsenal win 2-1. I was on the cusp of 2-1 to Arsenal. I do think Arsenal edge it. But 2-2, 2-1 to Arsenal. Kobe knocked the sale. I agree. There is a bit on that actually, and I will go into the Mainoo stuff coming out as well. Sidrashan says, good morning, Kiwi. Who can we bring in late in this window? Oh, I don't think we do, mate. I don't think we do. I'm hoping it's going to be a surprise, but I don't think we do, mate. I really don't think we do. I mean, you know, I think Agume, because he's got a clause, I think we could do that. Steeler, could we do that one? Højlund, could we do that one? Wharton, could we do that one? Believe has been spoken about again. I don't think we will. I think it's too late in the window, but I think one of Steeler, Agume, Belieber has been talked about again, still on there. Højlund, I think one of those four, unless we do something different with that. Brighton won't sell Belieber this late in yeah. They probably won't do. I mean, we'd have to go in with an audacious bid, but I think you're right. I was really adamant that he would get sold to us and he would come, but I don't disagree with you, my friend. I think you probably right. If Bruno leaves, we will go hell for leather for Belieber. Yeah, but can we do it? That is the thing. Can we do it? Let's see. I think it's going to be a really interesting next couple of days and window day. Housekeeper says, after Belieber, let's get Wharton, best midfielder in the next 10 years. I love that. I really, really do. I hope you're right. I would love that to happen. I think that would be ambitious. I think that's an ambitious club who want to do stuff. Let's see. I think Wharton would be best part of what next season. His contract's down a bit more, so maybe he goes for 70. Belieber's 100, easy 110. Let's see. Sheska should get some game time. I agree with you. He has to. Ian Arini says, our last round 3 game ended 4-0 against us. Hope we win today. It's round 2, mate. It's not even round 3. So we're actually at around. So basically, because we did so bad last season, we're not straight into round 3. This is round 2. So we need to beat Grimsby. Ahead, we'll play in games that are anticipated. We control possession and the opponent sits deep. I think once we start scoring, Kiwi, I genuinely think that once we start scoring goals, I think we'll be okay. We just need to score goals. Once we start to do that, if we can match goals with how we have played, first 10-15 minutes against Fulham were fantastic. If we can continue that, we've got the seeds of something. We just need to do it consistently. I think possible lineup: Onana, Heaven, Maguire, Sayoro, Delo, Mainoo, Ugarte, Leon, Bruno in the 10 with Xerxes and Sheska up front. Interesting one. Bruno always seems to play, but I think I like that as well. I mean, what I like is that we don't know. So I think Onana starts. I think Heaven, Maguire. Does Yoro start? Maybe Yoro. Below, I think we'll start Mainoo, Ugarte. Leon would be a good one. I think that'll be a good one for him to get some game time. Bruno, I think, needs to be taken out of the firing line, but Bruno would probably play in the 10. Xerxes, if he's fit, I'd like to see Xerxes and Shesko. Yeah, I think that works for me. Sorry, I can't read your language, but hi. Paul Brady says, Konate will definitely make a mistake and concede a goal. Yeah, Konate's not looking the best, is he? I think that's why. But they've just signed this new kid, haven't they, as well? Leone. So Konate is going to be fighting for his place. But Liverpool will come good. That they always will. But I do think Arsenal sneak it. If Brighton go for a midfielder, then Belieber comes to United. It's interesting around him. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to try to do something. Let's see what we can do. Jonathan Fay. That's a great first name. If you put 2 and 2 together, that's a great first name. We don't create clear-cut chances. It's just reactive, not proactive. Against Arsenal, I would disagree with that because we did create chances. I don't think that's reactive. I think that's proactively trying to create chances. The first 15 minutes against Fulham, that was proactive. But then you're right. Then the second half against Fulham, we just reacted because we had to. We didn't know what the hell to do, so we reacted to that. But I think against Arsenal in the first game, we were proactive. We took the game to them, and then first half against Fulham, we were through maybe 20 minutes proactively trying to seek a chance. But then I think you're right. Fulham, second half, reactive, had no clue what to do, and we were just trying all different things. Ruben's turning into Ten Hag already. This is Anthony 2.0 refusing to drop Bruno or play him as 10. Cowboy, I've said this a couple of times, is that Ruben's reminding me of Ten Hag without the defensive football. So without going to the defensive football, he does remind me a little bit of Ten Hag with his stubbornness. I agree. I don't think Anthony 2.0 in terms of Bruno. I think it's more of a, what did Ten Hag do? Rashford. I think it's more of a Rashford 2.0, where Bruno is 2 years older now, and it reminds me more of the Rashford where he wouldn't drop Rashford. But I do, in essence, agree with that. Same thing happened even with Ten Hag. We would start well, not score, and wither out. And this is why we need to break the cycle. No, he does remind me of Ten Hag quite a bit. I would definitely agree with a lot of that. I take that on board as well. I was sitting there thinking last night, and I think I have said this quite a bit as well, is that there are signs of Ten Hag's stubbornness in him, a lot of red flags, and as a fan base, I think this is right. This is the right sort of criticism and the right sort of critique that we need to have. Like, we're not saying get him out. You guys, I'm liking this, that we're not saying get out right now. We're just saying, look, you're very much like Ten Hag. You're stubborn. You're doing the same things. That is useful in my opinion. That is. Do you know what? We're going to try and support the manager as much as we can, but there's nothing wrong in saying this stuff. This is not saying that you want the manager out. You might do, but this is more about, look, we're telling you what we see. You may know more than us from a tactical perspective, from your tactical perspective, but we've seen this before. I've watched football for 38 years. Like, I've seen it all. I just know, right? And you can just tell. And people don't give us enough respect. We're just like online fans, but we watch football, we consume football in a different way, and it's so obvious to us. We need to score early. I think you're right, because even though it's a League Two team, the longer we don't score, the more the pressure comes in, right? So I think we need to score early just to settle the nerves, and then we'll go on to win the game. But yeah, the more we don't score, if we don't score in that first half, it's Grimsby. Like, no disrespect to Grimsby at all. You know, we should be beating them. You know, they're probably, their whole squad doesn't even earn what like Fernandez earns, and the whole of their squad is not worth as much as Fernandez. So I think you're right. So if we're playing this team, Amran needs to go out and he needs to go for it. Like in in the past, when we've gone for those sorts of games, Fergie would get to a point and go, look, guys, you know, if you get to 4-5, just sort of ease off a little bit. Nah, we need to go there and pulverise them in the most respectful way, because we need goals, we need confidence, we need these players, we need Shesko to start scoring. So I think for me, we just go at him completely. Obi, Jonathan Thay, Obi needs minutes as well in case. Good point, actually. Good point. Very, very good point. I think Obi does need minutes. So maybe you go Shesko and then you go Obi for a bit. So I think that's a really good point. Cowboy says Kobbie would have brought calm to the weekend's game, but yeah, on Garnacho to hoof it long. There are some stats on from last night's show actually on Kobbie, and you're right. You know, he's very good at ball progression. He's very good at touches in the opposition half. He's very calm with the ball. And I really, really do think that. We already told fans Xerxes, Mainoo, Maguire, Shesko will be starting. Believe it ain't happening at all. We will want him next summer. I think if we wait till next summer, I think he goes to another club. Unless we get into Champions League, and we've already agreed, which I don't think we have. I think there'll be a bidding war for him. Shesko will break the arse today. I hope so. I really, really do. The manager said he will play today and Saturday. I want fresh legs, hopefully. So Jonathan Day, I disagree. Look at Fulham on the weekend. We could have been 3-0. Yeah, I think what he's saying about not being, being reactive, I think for me is the second half, right? I think he's right on that. But yeah, where I don't agree, it's just against Arsenal and probably the first half against Fulham. We were steadily crap after that, exactly. Kingzina says, Brighton accept to negotiate. No, my friend, I don't think it's going to happen. Unless we do something late on, I don't think it happens. But then Brighton then need to go and do a deal as well. So unless we go in with 120 million straight off the bat, I just don't see that happening at all. I wish it would do, but I just don't see it will. Grimsby to win games of football. I really hope not tonight. Cowboy says the game needed someone calm on the ball to stop us needing to play long. Agree. If Kobbie's that man, I really, really hope so. G-Wolf, Con, stop spamming. Mods are on it. Thank you, Scott. Agent Scott. Kenneth Mohan says hi. Hello, my friend. The manager's job is to set up the squad that can create chances and score goals. Rúben is doing his part. I plays. Kiri again, mate. Spot on. Logical. I think you're right. You know, the manager is doing it. It's now up to the players on the pitch to carry that out. And all we need to do is score goals. So I think if we can start to do that, Kiri, I think you're right. We're going to start seeing a different club. Benja, thoughts on the World Cup after Trump's watch? I don't know, mate. American for Arsenal here. Welcome, Benja. I mate. You guys, welcome here, my friend. You know, Arsenal. A lot of respect for Arsenal. A lot of respect for them. Back in the day, you know, I remember our battles well. Wenger, you know, those sorts of days. Yeah, a lot of respect for Arsenal. Thoughts on the World Cup under Trump's? Is the next one in the USA? I think it is, isn't it? I remember the '94 World Cup. Oh my God, I absolutely loved that World Cup. That was amazing. That was an amazing World Cup. I think Trump will come out with something stupid. I don't know. I think Trump, and I'm not going to get into the whys and wherefores of Trump because I don't really get politics in the States. I mean, you're such a big country with so many people that I've tried to have an opinion on it because I don't understand it enough. But Trump seems to me to want the best for America, so I think he'll do what he can out of it. But I think it'll be a good World Cup. I really, really do. Bring back Sir Alec, mate. His time has been and gone. 80 years old. He's fallen down the stairs. Had a hemorrhage in his brain. He deserves his break. I'd love to bring him back. Not now, my friend. He's not the guy he was. He's an older gentleman and he's earned his time. So well, born in France, living in America, sadly. Big up to the French, of course. Thoughts on seeing Højlund in front of Cunha in Birmingham, who might actually give him service. Kiwi. I mean, I'm gutted. There's some plays in life that you just like. I like Højlund, and I wish, and I agree. I think if Højlund comes into the squad now, I think he's a different player. I really, really do. Maybe, it's not all of United's fault. I think he could have maybe been a little bit better, but I think that he would have done better, my friend. I think we let him down. He come into a toxic team, and I truly believe if he came in with these two, he'd have a better chance. So I wish him well. I really hope he does well. I really, really like him. His attitude is spot on. He's professional. He's a young guy, and I wish him all the best. I really, really do. In fact, to go back to that slightly, if there's a little bit of an issue with Napoli at the moment, if Højlund stays, I'm not against that. So maybe he stays. Højlund mentally should be moved on. I agree. I think he's got a little bit of PTSD actually. I think mentally you're spot on, Benja. I think you're 100% right. I think mentally he needs something else, and I hope he does really well at Napoli. I will be supporting him. Rest of the world care 0% about Trump. Benja, he's good to laugh at with his wild takes on pure comedy. When N7, when will you win against the Big Six? I don't know, mate. I really hope it's soon. I'm hoping it's City. Well, I'm hoping against City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. We've got them coming up very, very soon. So I'm hoping that we get win soon. If we don't, it's going to be pressure and pressure, isn't it? So I hope we can at least get a draw and a win from one of City or Chelsea. Thank you, Cowboy. It makes me feel better. Welcome, sir. No problem at all. Alpha Centuri says, so ironic that in a 3-4-3 system that needs a box-to-box midfielder, you don't play only box-to-box midfielder. It is ironic. What I will always say, though, is that we don't see Mainoo train. And I'm not saying for a second that Amorim is right, but we need to realise that we don't see Mainoo train. Last year, Mainoo wasn't very good. I think Mainoo last season was burnt out, and I think that maybe Amorim is I don't know. Maybe Mainoo isn't the guy, but he deserves his chance. So all I'm saying is that we need to be prepared for Mainoo possibly not being that good. And there is some news on that as well, which I will go through as well. I'll just get through the rest of the chat. Sharon says, Amorim looks more tactically clueless day by day. Let's see in the coming weeks. Kenneth Mine says, I think I'd like to keep Mainoo and sell Bruno, get Belieber, and sort out that midfield once and for all. Plus, they have youth on their side. Exactly, Kenneth. I don't disagree, mate. I think Bruno should go. I'd love Belieber, Mainoo in there. Like he says, I am with the manager sorting out score more goals. Xerxes, Shesko, Maguire, Ugarte, Kobbie Mainoo. You funny stuff. Yeah, just don't know what's the best. Exactly, Benja. I mean, it's so difficult. I think I am undecided on a lot of things, but where I'm decided on, and I have to go right. How can I be centered? Right? How can I And I get why people, and I don't like this term flip-flop, right? But people, it's very difficult in this age of social media that people's attention spans, and including mine sometimes, is very, you can get swayed, right? But I think you need to have a core of, this is what I believe. So whether it's you believe that Amorim shouldn't be the coach and you want him out, that's an opinion. That's a core opinion, right? That can be changed. That's fair enough. My core opinion is I want Amorim to do well and I want him to stay. That doesn't mean that can't change. I'm not silly enough to be like, if Amorim loses the next 15 games, 20 games, he's got to go. Like, it's I want him to stay. I want him time, but there does come a point where you go, I would hate it. I would be so disappointed that would happen. But there has to come a point as well where you go, I'm not just going to sit on my opinion just for the sake of it. So this is why I go game by game, but I still maintain I'm Amorim in. I want him to do well, but we still have to get on him. We still have to criticise this team. At the same time, we support them as well. So benches, I don't really want it here. Very trashy. Yeah. Aaron, the disrespect plastic Man United fans are giving Grimsby is unacceptable. Respect your opinion, no matter how big or small. Aaron, in interesting term there, I think there are a lot of the one thing that I've learnt, which I wish United fans would learn, and I think it's more. You do get plastic fans. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that term, but I do get what you mean on that one, right? Is that we were successful, okay, and again we were successful, for a very, very long time, and then we've been humbled. And I think as a fan base, I think we need to learn to be humble and respect. How many times have we been humbled, right? We thought that we were going to win these games. You look at the Coventry game, and it was what, 4-4, 3-3. Like, I don't understand why these sorts of fans disrespect this team. Like, yeah, they're not a big team, but I guarantee you they'll come to play. I guarantee you they'll make it difficult. I guarantee you that they're not going to roll over. They'll have more fight and bite than a lot of teams. And if we don't take this serious as fans, and we go there thinking that we're just going to smash them 5-0, we might do. But Grimsby are a respectful club. We've got to respect them. You have to respect the teams you play against, because you just don't know. Kenneth says, was at the US in '94 with Ireland's Super Days there. Wow. I mean, I loved that World Cup. I loved when Ray Houghton smashed that in against Italy. I think, was it Pagliuca? What a goal that was. I mean, that was brilliant. I loved that game. I watched everything. '94 was my favourite Kiwi. I was 15-ish, and Dunga in Brazil midfield was, mate. I was 94, I was 11. I was obsessed with that World Cup. Obsessed with it. I loved it, mate. You're right. I loved Bulgaria, Sweden, Nigeria, Brazil, Italy. Just absolute phenomenal. Ben says, that's very cool, Kenny. Mike Face says, Roy Keane could have lifted the World Cup for Ireland in '94. Slim chance, but he lifted plenty of trophies for United, exactly. Oh man, the Brazil in the '90s, it was like watching magic. Benja. Brazil, just 90s Brazil was just a different, they were just a different animal. R9 was just unplayable at times, Rivaldo, Dunga, Lucio, who was in goal. So Taffarel was in goal. You had a lot of Brazilian players as well. Romario, you had a lot of Brazilian league players in there as well. I mean, just Roberto Carlos, just what a time. And we're aiming to score goals, my friend. I think Højlund has a lot of potential elsewhere. Brighton somewhere. Napoli, I think, is where he's going to go. Kenneth Mahan says, though, my all-time favourite is the '82 Great World Cup team. Is that the Socrates. No, is it? Is that Socrates sort of World Cup time? I don't go back that far. Rasmus Højlund going to Italy. Yeah, I agree. You're doing a live stream during the rest of it. Yes, tonight I'm going to do 2. So I'm going to do the first half, and then I'll switch over and do the second half. I'll do it in 2 different streams tonight, just because of family stuff. So I'll do the first half, and then I'll do a different stream. But I will do both halves tonight. So it says, ignoring everything else, I can't think of any managers. Amorim is outsmarted in terms of strategy. Arteta, he outsmarted him. He's outsmarted him. But I can't. What can I say? The proof is in the pudding so far, and he needs to start doing it this season. So, yeah. I think that's a very, very good point raised. Grimsby, Asafia, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Grimsby 2, United 1. I'm gonna click that up. I'm gonna save that. I really, really hope not, my friend. Mainoo is not a box to box. He's a 10. I think he could be a box to box. Do I think Mainoo is a number 10? I think he's a number 8 or a number 10. I don't know. I think he's so young he could be either. I think his attributes probably suit a number 10, but I think he could be a box to box 8 as well. I think United fans need to have a little more faith. I agree. I'm in that camp as well. Niche fan is on here, legend of the attack, trusted the process, guys. Amorim is a fantastic manager. I'm glad Mainoo wants to go. I only want players who want to be at our club. So, right, I need to get through some stuff as well. So, let me get through the chat, guys. Let's have a little look. Hey, JB, says, JB, I disagree. I don't mind how many games we lose as long as we don't get relegated. He's doing open heart surgery and complete culture change. Yeah, niche fan. I mean, for me, in essence, I agree with that. I do agree. But there does come a point for me whereby I don't mind if we finish 12th, right? That's not what I'm saying. I don't mind if we finish 12th and there is a culture change and there is, I want to give him another year, but there has to be a point where if he lost 20 games on the spin, relegation form, and at that point, maybe you do have to go, because there has to be, as much as I'll support him until the very end, right? I really, really will. But for me, there has to come a logical point where you go, this no longer works. And you go, we are staring relegation down the face, which is not going to happen. I do agree with you that we won't go down. Far from it. And he is doing, he's doing so many good things that I think we should. Even if he finished 12th, I'd say that we still keep him, but there has to be a tipping point. There just has to be. Benja, that's right, niche. The whole culture, exactly. And we do need patience. Cold Logic says, hi, hello, my friend. Cohen Andrew says, what I really know, Mainoo is not sell. Exactly. Ever remember Nicky Butt or Garnacho? Yeah, I agree with that. Even Park would play exactly that. Kiri, I think you make a fantastic point there about Park, Nicky Butt, and what I'm loving Niche Fan, I'm loving Benja, I'm loving Kiwi, you guys, Martin Faye, Niche Fan, I'm loving this. I really do love the fact that we can talk about this. We all still want him to stay. We all still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. We want Mainoo to stay, and this is what we need. Is that we need this? We really, really do. Ray Houghton, Liverpool, the Liverpool and Villa man, exactly. What a legend. Used Bulgaria on the old FIFA 92. I go back that far as well. The old FIFA. Kids today will never know Brazilian football like it was back in the day. I agree. The weakest part of 82 was the goalkeeper, exactly. I've stayed for the first. I'll be here for the first half. Imagine, and then Benja, I will be back as well. I will be back for the second half. Too many kids fans these days in football. I agree. Code Logic, United have made more money this summer than other clubs from selling our players. If you're going to sell cheap, we might as well put 50% sell-on clause. Exactly. We do need a goalkeeper, Bob. I agree with 100%. You've got a great goalkeeper on the bench. I don't think we do, my friend. Mainoo has the capability to go 6 out of 10. I agree with you, Liam. Do we use the Republic of Ireland qualify for the World Cup and England did not? That's the question for you, mate. Do you used to know when Republic of Ireland qualified for the World Cup and England did not? Yes, I do. England had a good spate of time where they didn't qualify. They didn't qualify for '94, did they? I mean, that was horrendous. And then they didn't qualify for when what's his name made that error. The West Ham goalkeeper, can't remember his name. Was it Rob something? Oh, my old brain. What was his name? I can see his face, and he made that error, and then they didn't go through. Twisted fate. If the club owners listen to us fans, they wouldn't have ever been Fergie. If he's a United manager, back him. Other than the odd few players, the rest aren't good enough. Twisted fate. Do you know what? I agree with that statement. I do agree with that statement. Where I think they should listen to us is maybe on, obviously, some of our criticisms on the club, how it's run. I do think the time has come where we have to back the manager, but I do say that they're not above criticism and critique. They have to. Ultimately, it's a results game, but I do think in essence, I do agree with you on that one. Kobbie says, Kobbie drama is entirely driven by... Yeah, I'm going to come on to that, mate, as well. Nish fan, if you sack him, where do we go? Oh, my God. I don't know, my friend. Mainoo confirmed for the lineup. Not yet. Does Lucha come into the starting 11 when he's fit? Oh, Kiwi, I don't know, mate. If he's fit, yes. If not... Hiatus, how are you doing? What score prediction are you saying for today? The Royalty Master, I reckon the score today will be 3-0. How often do you go live, Kiwi? I try to do at least 3 shows a day. So I try and do a morning one, an afternoon, and then an evening one for a couple of hours. But it just depends on kids, family, work, and that kind of stuff. But I do try to do 3 times a day. The Royalty Master is, I hope Bruno doesn't start, but I feel he will as number 10. Good performance, mate. I will not forget his performances of the last 18 months, but I do agree with you. Great session yesterday, buddy. Thank you very much, Usman. Who is more talented as a youngster? Diamond or Rooney? I saw that today. Rooney. So Diamond, he's only just come into the squad. But for me right now, Rooney. Rooney at 16 was a grown man. And, for me, 100%. I think Mainoo need a DM. I agree with you, my friend. 5-0 tonight. Shesko hat-trick. Niche fan. Perfect game for Shesko. Start at 90. 5 a.m. kickoff in the morning. Wow. Kiwi, I hope, if you're watching tonight, we get a 5-0. I really do, my friend. So I'm going to quickly go over the news before I go. So the stuff so far has come up from the Athletic, whether we believe this or not. So Mainoo is currently on 20k a week, and apparently he's hoping for 10 times that amount. He wants 200k. I don't know, Liam Mills, you're correct whether this is true. So I don't know if this is coming from the Mainoo side, or whether or not he wants to. He's on 20k. Mainoo is an England international. Yes, he sort of had a bad season, but he's not worth 200k. If this is true, then there's a problem. He's not worth 200k. Maybe at this point in his career, maybe 100k. He needs to prove his worth. What I would do is I'd say to him, look, here's 100k. You prove us you're worth 150, then we'll talk. But for 200k, he's not. But that is out there today. That's according to the Athletic. Mainoo wants, obviously, a new contract. Is he playing the game? Is this his entourage? Is he trying to learn from the Garnachos and the Rashfords? I really hope not, but we need to keep an eye on it. So I don't know if it's true, but it is coming from a paper who's really close to the club. So we need to see that. Apparently, last thing I'll say as well is apparently we'd accept 45 million for Mainoo. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. So athletic wise, they are close to the club. This is starting to come out now. Is that the problem? Ultimately, is that Mainoo wants 200k a week? I can't see it myself. I can't see it. I don't think he's a fool. But is his team around him pushing 200k? And I'm sorry, he's not worth that money. So if he's pushing that, then maybe we are trying to push him out because is he pushing that? I don't know. So where we are with him, apparently he wants 200k a week. I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. And apparently we would sell him for 45 million, which again is a ridiculous price for such a young lad. He's going to what, United name 914. I don't think he will. I don't think we'll let players rot anymore. I think they need to go when they go because we need the money. So I don't think he will. Mainly won't get 200 grand anywhere apart from Saudi. So good luck trying to get that. Exactly, Liam. He's just not going to get it, is he? 200k. So I wonder if this is it. I'm not saying it's true. So let's be fair to Mainoo for a second. Maybe he's not asking for that, but he clearly wants a pay rise, and he should do. But let's see if this 200k is real first. Let's freeze Mainoo out. He doesn't want to be here. I think with Mainoo, let's just see what happens. I think let's get to the end of the window and see what we do. But I think if we sell him, then at that point maybe it's 200k. He doesn't want 200k. He wants game time. Name number 4. I think he doesn't want 200k, but he's on 20k a year, mate. He wants money. Like I get it. I do. He wants game time, but he also wants money, and that's what life is about. I bought Ugarte. It's a completely different player, mate. I'd let him rot. I only want players who want to be here. Who wants to be United? Name number 4 again, my friend. Obviously, doesn't support this club, but Shesko, Cunha, and Bermo. Players want to come to this club, irrespective of what you think about us on the pitch, irrespective of what you think about us as a club. People still want to come here. Managers, players. Maybe you don't want to come here, but sadly for everyone else, players still want to come here. Do you still back this manager? You must be mad, Ricky. I do back this manager still. We did a video on it as well, so go back and watch that. Not because I'm being rude, just because I'd spend another half an hour on why I back him, but in essence I do back him. Twisted Fate says, nah, this ain't Mainoo, I guarantee. Exactly, I agree with you. I don't think it is. Agents run loads of plays. Exactly. Ricky, he's deluded. I don't know if that's me or Mainoo. The media's trying to push Mainoo out the door, yet Foden can barely get a sniff. Exactly that. I don't think it's true. I have to take these positions because I'm putting niche fan. You don't need to. You don't need to explain yourself. These are your opinions. You and I do share. Amorim needs to stay, and we do need to put faith in him. But the differences are there, and you run him in for different reasons, and that's the beauty of this channel. And your opinion is we can all have different ones. The Grey Reaper says 20k a year. Yes, my friend. Ugarte is a different player, taking up the same role. Yeah, but Ugarte is not very good. Night, I've got to wake up at 6 hours. Kiwi, good night, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope, TF, do you back this manager? Yes, I do. For now, I do, yes. Because I have to. I don't think this is all of his fault at all. And I do back him. Amorim can see Mainoo isn't good enough for the system. Bruno isn't good enough for the position. So we must mean that Mainoo isn't good enough at all right now. I think we have to. Let's see. We're going to see, guys. So on that note, I have to go. What I'll always say on this channel is nothing without you guys. You guys are fantastic. Whether you agree, disagree with me, you support like different clubs. As long as we are respectful, we don't mind the banter. I certainly don't mind the banter, and I think it's really interesting when people come in here with different opinions. Different opinions to mine. I'm not a dictator. I'm never going to push my opinion on yours. I will question some opinions sometimes, not because I think my opinion is better than yours. It's just because I'm just trying to find out some stuff, right? So thank you guys so much for being on here. I do have to quickly shoot off and do something, but just I genuinely mean this, right? In life, you can't buy time. The fact you spend your time with me, with this community, for a minute, second, an hour, it just blows my mind, and I feel very, very fortunate to have your time. So I will be back for the Grimsby game. I'm going to do it in 2 streams. I'm going to do the first half on 1 stream, and then I'll split it into a second half, just because the way that it works tonight with the children. So I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care all, and have a good rest of your day.